Today's lesson is on lesson 4.1, inequalities and their graphs. And we're going to start off by, in this video tutorial you're going to watch, we're going to talk about how to identify solutions of inequalities and how to graph and write inequalities. Now, all of you should be familiar with inequalities. If I put up a sign like this, you should know, okay, that's less than. If I add the line underneath, okay, that's less than or equal to. If I write this is greater than. If I put the line underneath, that's greater than or equal to. So we're going to be dealing with all of these inequalities, how to read them, how to graph them, and so on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is a solution to an inequality. So a solution of an inequality is any number that makes the inequality true. A solution of an inequality is any number that makes the inequality true. So down here in my example, it says, is each number a solution of x is greater than or equal to 5? So I just have to check. -2? Well, let me plug it in. Is -2 greater than or equal to 5? No. -2 is not greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so now I'll try 10. Is 10 greater than or equal to 5? And yep, that is a yes. 10 is greater than or equal to 5. How about 25 divided by 5? Well, don't let that trick you, because we all know 25 divided by 5 is really just 5. And is 5 greater than or equal to 5? Bingo, yes it is, because it's equal to. So now I want you to try quick check 1. So you need to open up your books to page 200, and under quick check 1, there are 4 problems there, A through D. I want you to try all of them. So right now you should pause your video, do those quick check 1 on page 200. When you're done, hit play again, and then I'll be back here and we'll check to see how you did. Okay, welcome back. So this is what we had for quick check 1. The question was, for each of these, is x greater than or equal to -4.1? So for A, you needed to say, okay, is -5 greater than or equal to -4.1? Well, that is a no, it is not. -5 is less than -4.1. How about -4.1? Is -4.1 greater than or equal to -4.1? That's yes, because it is that equal to in there. How about 8? Is 8 greater than or equal to -4.1? That is a yes. It's positive numbers greater than a negative. And how about 0? Is 0 greater than or equal to -4.1? That is another yes. So you should have had no, yes, yes, and yes. Okay, so let's move on to our next section here. So we've got down here, is each number a solution of 3 plus 2x is less than 8? So this is an actual, this is just not one number here. We've got a whole inequality, and we need to plug -2 in for x to see, is it actually a solution? So I'm going to say, okay, does 3 plus 2, now I'll put -2 in parentheses, is that less than 8? So I'm going to do 2 times -2, which is -4. So is 3 plus -4 less than 8? 3 plus -4 is -1. Is -1 less than 8? That is a yes. -1 is less than 8. Now let's try the 3 down here. So now I'm going to put 3 in for x. So I'm going to do, okay, is 3 plus 2 times 3 less than 8? We've got 3 plus 6. I'm running out of room here, but 3 plus 6 is 9. Is 9 less than 8? No, that is not true. 9 is greater than 8. So for that second one, it would be a no. So just like before, I want you to try quick check 2 now. So quick check 2 is on page 201, right up at the top. There's A through D. Do all of A through D. Hit pause. When you're done, I want you to hit play again, and then we'll check and see how you did. Okay, welcome back. Let me go ahead and get rid of this paper. Okay, so we're going to try, it says, is each number a solution of 6x minus 3 is greater than 10? So first we're going to try 1. So if I put, this is A, so if I put 1 is 6 times 1 minus 3, is that greater than 10? Well, that's 6. 6 minus 3 is greater than 10. That is a big no. 3 is not greater than 10, so that one was a no. So you should have known for that one. For B. Okay, we've got 2. So this is 6 times 2 minus 3. Is that greater than 10? Well, that's 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. Is 9 greater than 10? That is also a no. 9 is not greater than 10. So now we'll try C, which is 6 times, that one was 3. Well, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 3, that's 15. Is 15 greater than 10? Yes, it is. And our last one is 4. And so you should know that if I plug 4 into this, now you're going to get 24. And 24 minus 3 is 21, and 21 is greater than 10. So D is also going to be a yes. So hopefully you did well on that. So let's keep chugging along here. And we're going to look at some graphs. These are the same graphs that are on page 201 in your book now. So right down here. So here they're just reviewing for you, okay, what does it look like on a graph? And this is something that you should have all seen before. So this one, x is less than 3. So since it's a less than, and it's not a less than or equal to, it does not include, 3 is not included in your answer because all the numbers have to be less than 3. So at 3, notice it's an open circle. And then they shaded all the numbers less than 3. This one is m is greater than or equal to negative 2. So since it includes negative 2, because it can be greater than or equal to, we're going to close negative 2, put a closed circle there, fill it in, and shade everything greater than negative 2. Now down here, my suggestion is, even though it starts with negative 1, always read from the variable. So this one is a is less than or equal to negative 1. So since it's equal to, you put a closed dot at negative 1 and you shade to the left. So again, you can rewrite that. Always read from the variable first. So a is less than or equal to negative 1. Notice I flipped the sign because here, if you go back to 4th grade, the alligator's eating the negative 1. So we still want the alligator to be eating the negative 1. A is less than or equal to negative 1. So let's look at some of these when we graph. So we're going to graph D is greater than or equal to 2. So I always say in my class, I'd like to see you have 3 numbers on your number line. So if you put 2 here, then I want you to see 1 before that and 1 after at least. And this is D is greater than 2. So since it's greater than, it's not equal to, I put an open circle at 2, and I want all the numbers greater than that. So 3 is greater than 2, so I'd shade this way. Now down here again, do not let this confuse you. Read it from the variable. So don't read this, negative 3 is greater than or equal to G. That's not going to help you. Read it from the variable. So read it as G is less than or equal to negative 3. And you can check, because again, the alligator is eating the negative 3 here. I still want it eating the negative 3 here. So now when I make my number line, and be careful here, because this is negative, so it's negative 3 here. This is negative 4. This is negative 2. Sometimes a common mistake is people will mix those around, but with negatives, that's what it needs to look like. Since it's less than or equal to, we put a closed circle at negative 3, and it's all the numbers less than negative 3. So I shade them all less than. So again, we're going to do some quick checks here. Middle of page 201, I want you to try quick checks 3. Try quick checks 3 here. Middle of page 201, do all, there's 3 of them, A, B, and C, and then come back, pause it. When you're done, hit play, and we'll check them. Okay, we are going to check quick check 3. So my first one is A. Oh, let me move that so you can see it. A is less than 1. So here's my number line. I've got 1 on there, and I'll put a 0 and a 2. This is not equal to, so it's an open circle, and it's less than, so you shade all the numbers less than. N is greater than or equal to negative 3. Number line, negative 3 in the middle. 1 less than is negative 4. 1 greater than is negative 2. This needs to be a closed circle at negative 3, and its N is greater than, so I shade everything to the right because it's greater than. And again, this one, the C, be careful here because this is what they've got. Read it from the variable. This is P is less than 2. And again, to check, alligator's eating the 2 here, alligator's still eating the 2 here. So I make my number line, I put a 2, 1 less than, 1 more, open circle at 2, and since P has to be less than 2, shade everything to the left, but not that circle because it's less than. Okay, so we're going to look at our last part here. Now that we've made the inequalities, now we're going to look at a graph and write an inequality for that. So I'm going to pick a variable here. I'm just going to say x. You could pick n or something like that, or you know, whatever your favorite letter is. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick x for this one. And I'm going to say, okay, I know I've got 2 here, and I've shaded all the numbers less than. So I know it's going to be a less than, because I've shaded numbers like 1 and 0 and so on. Is this an equal to or not? It is not an equal to because I'm not shaded in, so I just leave it. X is less than 2. For the second one, I'll put my x and my -3. And again, it's the numbers less than -3 that are shaded, like -4. But this one is a closed circle, so -3 is included in the solution, so you need to put equal to. For this next one, I'm going to write down my x again, and I've got my circles at -2. But this time, all my numbers that are shaded are the ones greater than -2. So I put greater than, but it does not include -2, so don't put an equal to there. Last example, we've got x, and this looks to be about a half is what we're going to say it is. And I've got all the numbers greater than that, but it does not include that half, so it's just x is greater than a half. So again, go to Quick Check 4, which is at the very bottom of page 201. There's just 2 of them. So write the 2 inequalities, and then when you're done, pause it right now, write the 2 inequalities. When you're done, hit play and we'll check. Okay, welcome back. So here we go. So when I look at that A, I'm going to pick x again. I've got a circle at 2. And the numbers shaded are 3 shaded. That's greater than 2. And it does include 2. 2 is part of my solution, so it's greater than or equal to. So that was A. For B, I'll use x again. And now we've got a circle at 0. And that's all the numbers less than 0. So I'm going to put a less than here. And 0 is not included in my solution. It's an open circle. So this is just x is less than 2. Okay, so we are good there. And this is what we've got. You can go back and rewatch any parts that you're not sure of. And yes, this on the floor right here, in case you're wondering, that is my son's sword. My son's foam sword. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.